Hi people, welcome back to TS Talk Sport. Of course, just doing my preview ahead of our Europa League group stage first game away in Germany against Eintracht Frankfurt. Just want to apologise for the late release of this video. One of the main reasons behind that was waiting to see the travelling squad. I didn't want to do a preview and start doing a predicted 11. And these times we see certain players they haven't even made the squad. Someone like a Socrates or Ozil. To be fair, Socrates wouldn't have been in my team for this sort of game anyways. But just as an example, of course, those two guys haven't been named in the travelling squad for this game. Bearing that in mind, let me quickly run through the players that have been named to travel for this game. We've got Leno, Martinez, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Mustafi, Chambers, Holden, Luiz, Kolasinac, Torreira, Guendouzi, Willock, Xhaka, Ceballos, Rowe, Martinelli, Nelson, Saka, Pepe and Aubameyang. Now, the first thing which I was looking for when I saw the squad was released was seeing if the likes of John Jules was going to get a call up to the squad. Not saying I expect him to start the game, but I thought with our current lack of strikers, I thought this might be the opportunity he might get to, be called up. Of course, Lacazette's injured. He won't be back until October, and Nketiah's on loan doing his thing at Leeds. And I thought, we're in a bit of a situation at the moment here because if Emery's to play Aubameyang and Aubameyang gets injured, then we've got a real striker crisis. And Aubameyang's been a man in form of recent, and we can't really afford to lose him for any amount of time. But that's my thoughts on it. I'm not the guy that's paid millions of pounds to make the decisions at Arsenal Football Club, but I'm a fan and I can of course give my opinion, which is what I'm doing. Talking about Eintracht Frankfurt, decent side. They got to the semi-finals last year, of course. Eventually knocked out by Chelsea, who of course beat us in the final. They haven't had the best of form so far this season in the Bundesliga. Of course, in the summer, lost a couple of big stars, the likes of Jovic and Sebastian Haller. And, they've just come off a 2-1 defeat at the weekend to Augsburg. So it's going to be a tough game. I'm not expecting us to go there and, roll them over. But I feel it's a game that we can get a result. I think the result will be 2-1 to us. Again, the main thing is going to be this defence. And, seeing the likes of Ainsley Maitland-Niles come out and say, I'm talking about the tactics and stuff. And, as much as he may have a point, I still think that, there's certain players on that pitch that, are meant to be leaders. Xhaka says he was scared. Socrates, Luiz, some of these experienced older players are meant to, make a decision. And, if you go against a manager's decision in a moment like that, it might not be the smartest thing to do, but, show some cojones, as, a man like Troy Deeney once said. There's all that talk of that time. I remember we went up to City some years ago and won 2-1. Everyone's like, it's a great change of formation from Wenger. And it turned out that Cazorla and some of the other players actually said in the dressing room that we can't go there and play like this. We have to adapt, which is what they did on the day. But, for this game, I expect a slightly changed side, but, I'm still relatively confident that we'll get the result. So without me waffling on for much longer, let me get straight into the 11 I would actually play for this game. In goal, I'll go with Martinez. It's not like last season where we had this whole, Leno check thing. I remember Leno started off as the Europa League goalkeeper last season. But, Martinez is the number 2, and I expect him to, feature in these games, such as these group stage games for the moment of the Europa League. And, I think he's a good enough keeper to do so, and hopefully that is the case for us. Going into defence, I'm going to go over back 4. At right back, I'm actually going to bring in Squadron Mustafi. Now, towards the back end of last season, he played some games at right back and he wasn't so bad. I think taking him out of that central area may be a bit better for him. Of course, we know him playing like right back, he's not going to be, getting further up the pitch on the attack. And, maybe that's what we need, someone that can do a decent defensive job. I know he's not a fan favourite and that, but, he wasn't sold in the summer transfer window. He's going to be here till January as a minimum. And if we're going to sell him for anything in January, he needs to play games. And this is the sort of game I'd play him in. I think Maitland was horrendous on Sunday. And, based on that, I wouldn't be playing him in this game. And I think Mustafi can come in and do a job. At left back, I'm going to have to stick with Kolasinac, until Tierney's fully fit and ready. Kolasinac is going to have to play, and when Tierney is fully fit and ready, then Kolasinac can play these Europa League group stage games, and that would be best suited for him. Going into the centre-back partnership, I'm going to go with Chambers and Luiz. I know Holden's declared himself fully fit, and, that's good. I know he played with the under-23s at the weekend and got a full 90, and just because this game isn't going to be like a walk in the park game, I just wouldn't rush him straight back in. Maybe someone on the bench, maybe, depending on how the game's going, can bring him on with maybe 20 minutes to go. Just ease him back in. But personally, I wouldn't start him. Nothing against Rob Holden. I think he's going to come back and hopefully, recapture the form he had of last season before he got injured, where he was playing relatively well. But I just think because this is probably the toughest opponent in our group, I don't think it's the right game to, put him in from the start, and bearing in mind of the length of injury that he's had. Going into the midfield, I'm going with a 4-2-3-1 formation. Now, the two in the pivot I'm going for in this game is Torreira and Willock. And what I want to see from Torreira in this game is someone that actually does the duties of, a defensive midfielder, something which we brought him in here to do. Talks a lot about the Watford penalty the other day. Just 3 passes before they got to that position, he's there taking the shot in the 6-yard box. We're 2-1 up. You're meant to be, sitting in front of the back four, and that's what I expect from him, is to sit in front of that back four. Alongside him, Joe Willock. He's been a bit unfortunate not to play of recent. Started the first 3 games, played well. One of our best players at Anfield. Was on the bench for the North London derby, was on the bench against Watford. Come on, didn't have the best of games, but I feel we can do well in this game, and I'll be pushing for him to start just in front of those 2, Danny Ceballos. Quite a simple decision, to be honest with you. Ozil didn't travel, and even if he did, I think most fans would still pick Ceballos over him to start. He was one of our better players against Watford, and the game really turned on its head after he came off, and it's a shame that at present he's a player we just have for 1 season as a loan, but as long as he keeps putting in good performances, I've got no issues with him, and we need him in this game in terms of creativity. And I think the likes of him and Willock in the midfield is really going to help us in terms of pushing forward. On that right-hand side, I'm going to go with Pepe. I personally feel that he needs a goal just to kind of settle him a bit. I think this might be a game which he might find a bit easier, in the sense, he's new to the Premier League, hasn't had a pre-season. And, when you play games like in Europa League against other European sides, sometimes you can find it a bit easier to break down the opposition, and I think this may be the situation for him. And, hopefully that's the case, and he does a good job, and, hopefully he gets a goal in this game, and it kind of settles him into the side a bit ahead of our Premier League game on Sunday. On the left-hand side, I'm going to go with Martinelli. Came off the bench in the first game against Newcastle, showing some, electric pace. Haven't seen him since. I know he's been on the bench and that, but, haven't seen him featured much since. So, I think this would be a good game for him to start. Again, nothing against the likes of Reece Nelson, but he hasn't really cut it for me as much of recent. And bearing in mind, the lack of attacking options, I think that maybe someone like Nelson, Saka, Smith Rowe, those sort of guys would be good options to have from the bench if needing to, impact the game as such. But, for me, I'll start Martinelli on that left-hand side. And then up top, it's going to have to be Aubameyang. Like I said prior, he's the only striker we have at the moment. Did kind of baffle me as to why the likes of a John Jules wasn't given the opportunity to be in the squad. He would be a good player to have on the bench, 20 minutes to go. But, like I said, the manager's the guy that's paid to make these decisions. And, hopefully the decision pays off from him. I think that the team I've mentioned is good enough to go out there and get a result. Even if I look at it, if someone like a Kolasinac bombs forward, you've still got like three central defensive-minded players as the other part of the back three, and other three of the back four, should I say, sorry. And I think going into the midfield and attack, I think that we have enough quality to do Frankfurt. Like I said, it's not going to be an easy game. I'll take a 2-1 win, and it wouldn't surprise me if we get a draw, but we need a win in this game for me. I think as the club, as for the players, they need it, and for the manager, he needs it. If things don't go well in this game, it's going to add more pressure onto him. And, I'm not a Emery out, as some people are already, but, things need to be sorted out, and they need to be sorted out quickly. And he's the man paid to do so. So either he sorts it out or he'll be shipped out. That's the reality of it. But that's my thoughts on the game. Of course, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts on what sort of formation you'd go with, what your score prediction is, and what your starting 11 would be. And of course, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you next time.